Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm going to explain to you how to knit a distress knit top that you guys have been seeing on my Instagram page, and the things I'll be using will be my selector. Aside my selector, I'm also going to use Yeye yarn. Yeye yarn is what I use most times for my projects. Most of what you see on my Instagram page is Yeye yarn. This is also a comb. Now you can either use a comb or hanging weight, whichever one works best for you. This is what we call hanging weight. Aside hanging weight, I'm also going to use my long needle. If you've been watching my previous videos, you realize that I always use long needle for my project. For this work, I'm also going to use tension 8 on my can box. Tension 8 works best for me. Whenever I am knitting, I always use tension 8 most times, aside if I'm working with my punch cards. For the plain stockinette knit, I always use tension 8. So let's get back to work. This is also a sample. I'm making a sample for you guys to see. I'm also going to write the caption in the description box. I'm also going to bring out 10 needles in between 50 to 60. 50 to 60, I'm going to bring out 10 needles. You can call it 10 stitches or needles or pins. Now I brought out 10 needles. Aside this, I'm also going to bring out another 10 needles. Now the 10 needles I'll bring out in between 20 to 30. That's what I'm going to bring out. So I've brought out 2 sets. I will move to my extreme right, then bring out 10 needles too. That's from 20 to 30, then 50 to 60. This is one of the easiest thing to knit. Like if you want to knit this distress knit top, this is the easiest thing to do. It's very, very easy and it's a very gorgeous design. Now I've brought out 4 sets. That is 2 by my left and 2 by my right. Because my cam box is by the extreme left, I'm doing the E-wrap casting on. So I'm going to start with my extreme right. Now, if your cam box is by your extreme right, you will start from your extreme left. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to bring out enough excess wool and start my work. So to start with this E-wrap casting on, you have to be very, very careful when doing your E-wrap casting on. So the short strand will be inside, while the long one will be outside. Then you yarn over on all the stitches that you are seeing. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I said now is I'm going to yarn over, but to yarn over, the short strand will be inside the first stitch. Then I yarn over to the second one. Then I use my thumb to take it back. So you have to be very, very careful when you are doing your E-wrap casting on, and make sure your hand is not too tight. As you can see, I'm yarning over on all the stitch. Once you yarn over on the first one, you move to the second, use your thumb to take it back, move to the third, fifth. You do that continuously. Now once I'm done with the 10th one, I'm going to just drag it straight and I start again to the next one. The first, the second, the third, the fourth to fifth, and so on and so forth. You do that. Once you are done on the 10th one, you move it to the next one. So you have to be very, very careful when you are doing this. As I said, make sure your hand is not too tight when you are taking it inside. Then I drag it, then I move it again, the first, second, third, till I get to the 10th one. Then I move it and I do it to the last one. That's the last set. Then I move it, then I do it first, second, till I get to the 10th one. Now the remaining excess wool, you drag it back through your antenna. Make sure it's straight. That's the excess wool that you are seeing. Just move it backward through the antenna. Now, as I said, I love to use my comb whenever I'm doing this. So whichever one sits well for you. At some points, you can also use your hanging weight. So I don't want to use my hanging weight for this work. I want to use my comb because I really love to use my comb. Now, before I use my comb, I'll have to place it very well. I'm using my long comb. Now, we have the 50-50 and we have 100-100. So this is the very long comb. You will have to gauge it very well so it doesn't bend whenever you're knitting. So I'm going to gauge it well and I'm going to grip it. I will grip my comb to the ones that I did. That's the E-wrap that I casted on. So whenever I'm knitting now, it won't affect those ones in position A. It's those ones in position D it's going to affect. So the very first one will be hard when I'm knitting, but just try and understand that it's because it's the first one. So I'm also going to focus on the ones in position B. So now when I did the E-wrap casting on, it moved. When I knitted once from position D, it moved to position B, which is the working stitch. Then you continue knitting. Now, as I said, I don't have any business with the ones in position A. It's the ones in position B that I'm really, really concerned and I'm focused on. That's the one I just showed you now. So this is how you do. You just continue knitting till you get to your desired length. So as I said, this is a swatch or a sample that I am making for you. So I'm knitting to my desired length, and let me say I knitted till I got to 100, showing on my row counter. So you just continue knitting. This is the outcome. Once you continue like this, you will see it like this. So you just knit, just keep knitting as you are saying it. Please don't forget that this is also a voice that I am making for you guys. So I knitted at one point, I knitted till I got to 100, showing on my row counter. Yes, so this is it. I knitted 100. So this is the outcome. This is how it's going to look like. So I'm trying to turn it. So where we are knitting is actually the back. So once you turn your work, you realize that this is the front. The beauty of this distress knit top is you can use the back for the front or the front for the back. So I've knitted 100 times. Now I'm also going to show you how to create your armpit. The armpit is also very easy. It's just for you to focus on it. Now I'm going to show you how to create your armpit. Now to create your armpit, you will drag enough excess wool to start with. So I'm going to decrease 5. Now for me to decrease 5, as I said, you drag enough excess wool. So please, I want you to pay attention to this part, because this part is a very critical part whenever you are knitting. Now you will have to drag the very first one. Now that is the 10th one. You will have to move it out. I will show you guys how to do it. You will move it out, yarn over. Now whenever you are yarning over, you have to yarn over on top of the clip. As I'm doing it, as you can see, I'm bringing it out. It is very, very important for you to focus on this part, most especially as a beginner. Now the very first, which is the 10th one, I'm doing just 5. You bring it out, you yarn over. You can yarn over like that or the other way, whichever one works best for you is fine. Now you yarn over, you take it back inside and you hold it. It is very, very important for you to focus on this part. Then you bring it out of the clip, then take it back to position A, then insert it into the next one. Bring it out of the clip, yarn over, hold that part, jack it out, jack it in, then put it into the next one. So I'm going to do decrease of 5. So I'm going to leave it on the 6th one. Put it inside, bring it out, then yarn over, take it back inside, then jack it out, then take it in. Then I will leave it on the 6th one rather. So I've done a decrease of 5. After I do a decrease of 5, I'm going to knit once. So don't forget that whatever you do to your left hand side, you have to do it on the right hand side too. So this is the decrease of 5. So I left it on the 6th one. Then as I said, you knit rather. Then you do the same thing like what you did the very first time. You will do it again. You bring out enough excess wool. Bring out the 10th one. When you bring out the 10th one, you yarn over on top of the clip, then hold it, jack it out, jack it in. That means you are taking it back to position A. Then you move to the next one. So that's how you are going to do it till you get to the 6th one. So that 6th one, you just leave it there. So after the 5th one, you leave it on the 6th one. So that means you've done decrease of 5. Do you understand what I'm saying? You've done decrease of 5. Then you now knit back. Now I first knitted 100 times. Do you understand? Then I did a decrease of 5. Then I knitted once, did another decrease of 5 by the right hand side. Then I'm knitting back. Now I'm going to knit again. I'm going to knit 100 times. So I've done decrease on both sides. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm going to now knit extra 100. So please, this is just a sample. I'm going to write the main, what I did on my Instagram page. I'm going to write the main measurements. Now I knitted 100 times. Now for the front part, the shoulder part, let me say your final length is 200. Now 200 minus 80. sorry, 200 minus 20 gives us 180. There's something I'm going to do on the shoulder part where I just highlighted now. So let me say I've knitted 180 times. So the remaining 20 times, I'm going to bring out those ones you are seeing in position A. I'm going to bring them out to position D. I'm going to do the A-wrap casting on. I'm going to do A-wrap casting on again. So the middle part, I'm not going to touch it at all. I'm just going to touch the shoulder part. Now where I'm bringing out is what I'm really concerned about. So I'm going to bring them out as I did to position D. I just moved my tripod to the other side. I'm going to bring it out to position D too. So please don't forget, I'm not touching the middle part. I don't have any business in the middle part. I'm going to leave them in position A. So these sides that I just brought out are the sides I'm going to work on. Then I will now do the E-wrap casting on again. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you can either leave the comb as it is down, then do the E-wrap casting on again. So I brought out enough excess wool. I'm going to, don't forget that the single strand, the short part will be inside the first one. Then I yarn over to the next. Then I do that continuously till I get to the final part. Then I move it, then do it again to my left hand side. So this is the right hand side that I'm doing now because my canvas is by the left hand side. Then I drag it and I do the same thing to my left hand side. So the remaining excess wool, I'm going to now move it back through the antenna. So this part is very essential because whenever I'm joining, I don't want to just join. So I don't want to join it with the rope. That is why I'm doing this part that I'm just showing you now. So I'm going to move it. Then I continue with E-wrap casting on. Do you understand? As I said, I'm not touching the middle part. I don't have any business with the middle part. So I'm going to do this till I get to the last part. After I get to the last part, I'm going to drag the remaining excess wool through my antenna. I also want to explain something to you here. If you notice, the very first time when I did the E-wrap casting on, I used my comb. But for this part, I'm not going to use my comb. What I'm going to do is, once I knit once, I will use my selector to move everything, even with those ones in position B. I'm going to use my comb to move everything out to position D. Aside those ones at the middle, please don't forget. So I'm going to move everything out to position D. I will now knit once, then I do that again. I'm going to repeat it like 4 to 5 times before I start knitting. Now I'm knitting once. You can see it also knitted those ones in position B. After I knit once, I'm going to use my selector to move all of them now. So that's the sum total. Those ones that we did at first, then this one, I'm going to move everything out. So I'm going to position D. Now I'm going to do it like 4 to 6 times. Then I knit continuously. I'm going to knit a method. That's 20 times. You know, I told you that is 180 plus 20. That's 200 because 200 is our final length. That's for the shoulder part. So that whenever I'm joining, I'll be able to join the body. I won't join just the rope. Now I've knitted again. I'm going to move it out again. You know, I said I'm going to do it 4 times. I'm going to use my selector. So now at this point, I did the other parts. I'm doing the left hand side. I'm also going to do the right hand side. I will move them. I'll do that 4 times. Then I knit continuously. After I am done with that part, I'm going to do that 20 times to give me what, 200. Once I am done, I'm not going to cast out. That means I'm done. So this is a very, very easy design, easy outfit to make rather, and it's a very gorgeous design, mostly for fashion lovers. Like fashion lovers will love this design. Like what you saw on my page, I've got like 1,000,001 request order for this same design. So what I did here was I used my hanging weight. You know, before I used my comb from the beginning. Now this is another method. I'm using my hanging weight. I'm knitting 20 times, then I cast out. I'm going to cast out using my long needle. That is what I use most times. So now you can see that I've knitted 20 times, and you can see it didn't affect the middle part. The middle part is still in position A. Now I'm going to cast out because I am finally done. For me to cast out now, I'm going to use my long needle. So this is the end result. This is the end result, the end product. So if I want to cast out, most times I always gauge it into 2. Then I cut it. Then I use my needle. Then I cast out. So this is I will always repeat it, like this design is the easiest design you will ever need, and it is not time consuming. It doesn't also consume yarn. I guess for my project, most of what you see on my Instagram page for this same design, I don't think I used up to, I don't know, I don't think I used up to like 10 for this project. I don't think I used up to 10. See, if you continue to knit this piece alone, you can earn millions. Like, I am not exaggerating, you can earn millions. It just depends on how you play with colors. Playing with colors is another thing you need to also work with. Please, it is very important for you to play with colors. So sometimes you don't have to make it just plain color. You can use like different colors. You can come up with different colors and just play with it, and you will always get a client that will love it. I started making this piece like since April. A client of mine asked me to make this piece. Just look at it. I actually made a crop top with this. And I'm also going to show you the main design, what you saw on Instagram. This is my client that wore it, and I've gotten 1,000,001 orders for this design. I am here to show you guys more. Make sure you stay tuned to my YouTube channel for more.